天，连接湖南张家界、吉首、怀化的张吉怀高铁正式开通，这也结束了湖南湘西州不通高铁的历史，对促进国家中西部区域发展具有重要意义。
This month, a new high-speed railway started operating in China. It goes through western Hunan, a region where I happened to travel earlier this year. Had I known a high-speed train would be available, I would have postponed my trip for a year. But I had a wonderful trip anyway and made 5 videos. In this video, I'll associate the videos to the stations in the railway as a tour guide. In addition, I'll briefly connect the stories I talked about in the 5 videos so you can have a better understanding of this region, of how Chinese emperors ruled indigenous people in ancient times, and of a minority ethnic group in China, the Miao people. Western Hunan, or in Mandarin, Xiangxi, is this mountainous region in the west part of Hunan province. It is home to many mountainous indigenous people like Miao, Tujia, and Dong. Some folk Miao traditions, such as witchcraft and walking corpse, made this region very mysterious in the past. There are 2 municipalities and 1 ethnic minority autonomous prefecture in this region. This video will focus on this prefecture named Xiangxi, Tujia, and Miao Autonomous Prefecture. The new high-speed railway has 5 stations in Xiangxi Prefecture. From north to south, the second station in Xiangxi is Furong. It's a town built above a waterfall. The majority populace of this town is Tujia people, a minority ethnic group in China. A unique feature of Tujia house is the wooden pumpkins at the end of the beams. You can find them all over the town. This town is a good place to learn about the Tusi system through which the ancient emperors ruled the indigenous people in southwest China. Tusi was a title for hereditary tribal leaders recognized by emperors as governmental official. Since it was difficult for central government in ancient times to access the mountainous regions and to communicate with people with different customs and culture, the emperors ruled indirectly through Tusi. A copper column dated back to the 10th century recorded the official agreement recognizing the legal status of Tusi in this region. It's now stored in a museum in the town. The summer palace of Tusi of this town is above the waterfall. In the video, I explained in detail how the Tusi system worked and how it ended. The 4th station is Jishou, the capital city of Xiangxi Prefecture. This region had a different ruling system in history, or to be precise, it didn't have a system. The central government didn't have much control over this region where there were many small tribes with their own tribal leaders. On this imprecise map produced in around the 18th century, the Qing Imperial Court named this region the Miao land, as majority populace is Miao people. Today in this region, there are many Miao villages travelers can visit. And usually, the villages are quite small with only dozens of households. The biggest Miao village is probably the Dehang village in the Dehang Canyon. I didn't visit that village though. Instead, I went to a small Miao village named Jidou nearby. It's a very primitive village, quiet and peaceful. There's not much commercial activities going on. You can see normal everyday life of Miao people there. You can also look at the canyon from above. If you love hiking, you can go to the Dehang Miao village in the canyon first and then climb up the mountain to the Jidou village. I also went to a suspension bridge in the same area. The sightseeing path in the bridge is open to visitors with an entrance fee. This is the view from the bridge. I feel it's definitely worth the money. In the 16th century, a border wall was constructed in this region as illustrated on this map. Today, most part of it has been demolished. Only a section was restored, and it's here. For that, you need to go to the next station, Fenghuang. The name of this site is Southern Great Wall, as to distinguish from the Great Wall in North China. There are buses from the town to this region. Taxis are also available. I'll start the story from the La Hao Castle near the border wall. In early Ming Dynasty, which was about late 14th century, when indigenous people had sporadic conflicts with the Han Chinese who settled in this area, the Ming Dynasty constructed dozens of castles in the border area and had troops stationed inside. In the 16th century, the chief commander in this region suggested to construct a border wall, similar to the Great Wall in the north, to connect the castles in this region. The Ming imperial court generally adopted defensive strategies in military throughout its history, which can be proved by the Great Wall it constructed in the north and this border wall. But the Qing Empire, which was established by nomadic Manchu people from northeast China, generally adopted more aggressive strategies. During the 18th century, there were large-scale uprisings in this region. The Qing imperial court sent troops inside the so-called Miao land to suppress the uprisings. After the battles, the Qing imperial court not only fortified this border wall, but also beefed up the military force here. Fenghuang, the town that's next to the border wall, became a regional military center. The stone city wall of Fenghuang was constructed in the Ming Dynasty. Between the city wall and the river, there's a row of houses built on stilts. It's evidence of influence of ethnic minority culture in the town because this kind of houses are typical residence of mountainous indigenous people. The roofed bridge, as well as the stones in the river, are other common structures in ethnic minority villages in this region. A travel magazine once nominated Fenghuang as one of the 4 ancient towns in China that travelers shouldn't miss.
我家住在个山坡嘞，山上的木叶多又多，木叶日长过日瘦，日长木叶日瘦过。
As the Qing imperial court changed their policies towards indigenous people, the conflicts gradually tapered. More and more Miao people moved into the town. There were also marriage between Miao and Han people. But that didn't end the history of Fenghuang being a military town. With the declining of the Qing dynasty and the invasion of Western countries, China entered into a dark period of endless wars from the First Opium War in 1840 to the Civil War that ended in 1949. Due to its military DNA, this town was deeply involved in all those wars. When young men in Detroit went to work in car factories like GM, Ford, and Chrysler, young men in Fenghuang joined different military forces. Of course, some became general or even regional warlord, but more died in battlefields far away from home. Some of them ended up being bandits in the mountain. This history was not only a scar of Fenghuang, but also a painful episode in Chinese history. Due to its mountainous landscape, Xiangxi was one of the most underdeveloped regions in China. 7 out of the 8 counties were on the list of national-level poor county. But things have been changing. Tarmac roads have been paved to every single village. Bridges and highways were constructed. Kiwi fruits were introduced to grow in the mountains as a way to increase farmers' income. Miao heritage and culture attract tourists from around the country. In 2020, the 7 counties were removed from the poor county list. Absolute poverty that lingered in the mountains in Xiangxi for thousands of years has been eradicated. But still, it is far away from the next goal the country has set: common prosperity. The new high-speed railway running in the mountains and the valleys will make the life of local people more convenient, and hopefully will bring the economy of this region to the next level. Every ethnic group has the right to enjoy modern life and prosperity.